What's up guys, DuArktik with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we are back to talk about the Incursion raids. And once again we're going to talk about the Mystic nodes. Those nodes are quite tough and we have a few options that we have to talk about. Should we focus on New Warriors? Should we focus on Eternals? Should we focus on Darkhold? We're going to talk about all of that because that's going to save you tons and tons of resources as soon as you know exactly which is going to be the best team for these nodes. Now, these nodes are quite tough as soon as you get beyond like the normal difficulty. Normal difficulty, way too easy. Difficulty 1, it's also not a big deal, but when you get to difficulty 2, then is when the problems start. The enemies have a lot more health, and worse than the health is just the damage they do to you. It's just insane amount of damage and they're going to destroy you right away. So we're gonna take a look at some footage of characters in action, and then we're gonna see what's the problem with each of them. So as always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure to smash that like button like a boss. Okay, let's get started. As always, make sure to check out the channel because we have multiple videos every day. We are a little bit late this time, but if you want to check out the Incursion raid or the Nova event, yes, Nova event, and if it is game over or not for the Eternals. It seems like it's not the case, but I expect more Eternals to come up this year. Okay, so let's take a look at the gameplay. Let me take a look if I don't make a mistake. Okay, so we are already running, and now I want to hide this and this, and not this. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I tried to use the Deadpool and the New Warriors with Spider River. The reason why I tried to do this is because the developers, they are really holding on to the Spider with this Deadpool nonsense. Like, they are limiting so much the Deadpool that she must have some secret value that we are not aware of. So is it in raids? It doesn't seem to be the case, because in raids, as you just saw, she got completely destroyed and she got ability blocked, which is definitely a problem because she's a tank, she has taunt, and the fact that she has ability block, it's going to be a huge deal. So is Deadpool the solution for the Mystic raids? Definitely not. Now, here I was using Spider Weaver and we are doing fine, but Spider Weaver on her own, she cannot do a lot. And in my opinion, the best use for Spider Weaver is together with Deadpool and Morgan Le Fay, because both of those characters can spread negative effects from one target to adjacent allies. And if you have Deadpool as a skirmisher, she can spread those negative effects quite fine. And if you have Spider Weaver as a striker, she can apply additional bleeds to the enemies. So because you have her as a striker, then your bleeds are also going to have more base damage. And that means whenever Morgan Le Fay or Deadpool spread those negative effects, they are going to do more damage. But Spider Weaver is quite problematic, because until you get your Spider Weaver charged up, she's gonna struggle quite a lot, and this is something that we need to have in mind. And also that Spider Weaver, she transfers charges from one node to the next node. This is going to be extremely important on node number 2 and on node number 3, because the enemies have gambits that will attack you all the time non-stop, 100% relentless. And after that, we also have a Kang that is going to punch you in the face so hard that you're gonna vomit even out of your eyes. You're gonna vomit out of your eyes from how painful that Kang beat you up. So you can see right here that now we are using Eternals together with New Warriors, and New Warriors, even that they have multiple red stars and Gear 16, Gear 17, is just not enough. When you take a look at their stats on the website, you'll see that unfortunately Cloak cannot hold up in terms of stats. Dagger, she does okay, but Cloak is just worse. So even if you put maximum isolate on cloak, so isolate blue, and this is with gear tier 18, is going to have 1.4 million health, and on difficulty 2 it's not enough, and we have all the way to difficulty 6. So this is something that you need to have in mind. The enemies, they do so much damage that the problems we have with web warriors not having enough health and so on is just the case, and especially on the boss node, that the enemy Kang slaps you so hard, like or you get very lucky and your cloak dodges, or you're gonna get slapped so damn hard that there is nothing you can do. So what we have to do is instead rely on characters that have that healing, that they need to have defense up on spawn. They need to have some kind of healing right away, otherwise they're gonna get destroyed. And that's it. So even with Spider Weaver, she's gonna get slapped very, very hard. But because she is one of those characters that are required for Apocalypse, you might have some additional stats on her. So here, blue, isolate, and I also recommend her for Dark Dimension 6. So that's some additional health that she'll have. So you can see Spider Weaver, this is a different story. We are taking a look at 2 million health. So it's quite remarkable how big she can get. And this is of course gear tier 18, but even at gear tier 17, it's fine. So we have to really be careful with which characters you are investing in, because if they don't have the health, if they don't have the mechanics of survivability, they are going to get completely destroyed. Now, we have another character that has a lot of mechanics of survivability, which is going to be Quicksilver. And Quicksilver is fine. He's actually pretty great because of the Scarlet Witch he summons, but overall it's just not enough. It's just not enough because he does a lot of single target damage. So in terms of health, he's quite good. And he also has the mechanics of survivability similar to what the Eternals do. But at the end of the day, is it going to be enough? Who knows? Where is the thing? Okay, let me see. Okay, so here we are doing the node number 2. We are using still Cloak and Dagger. And they are doing fine because of the evades or because of the dodges on Cloak. So you can see, like Cloak, you can avoid the attacks from the Gambits. And we have a bunch of negative effects that you can spread to the enemy. So once again, it's going to be extremely important that you keep spreading these negative effects. It's like from Morgan Le Fay, you have to spread to some targets, and then with Deadpool, you have to spread from those targets that you spread already to the other targets on the other side. So you have to keep doing like this, otherwise you're going to have huge problems. Spider Weaver, she also has a stun that is convenient for these squirrel girls. And Quicksilver, he has the turn rewind with offense down. But does he has ability block? I don't remember if he has ability block. I think he has ability block. So that's going to be convenient as well. The problem with Quicksilver is that he has very, very long cooldowns. So he doesn't have ability block. He removes charges. Removing charges here is not super important because we don't have like any character that has really a lot of charges. So yeah, once again, we have to balance out on what the enemies are doing to us. So Cloak and Dagger, they are fine, somewhat fine, but look at the boss node. Bye-bye. So Deadpool, she's already game over. The thing about Deadpool is that my Deadpool could be a little bit higher. She doesn't have 7 red stars yet, and she's also required for Apocalypse, so you have to give her Isolate Pool level 5. So compared to other characters, she still deserves a little bit more love, and she is going to have more survivability. But here on this specific situation, on this specific attempt, I got extremely lucky that I got multiple evades on Cloak. Otherwise, this Kang, the Super Kang with the BFG and all these extra illuminations, all these extra LEDs and so on his face, like, he's going to destroy you so hard. And then there is another thing. Is he going to crit? Is he going to not crit? And this is why I thought that maybe Gwenpool would be nice to use on this team, because she starts off with deflects. And those deflects, they are quite nice, but bro, like that Kang slaps. He really, really slaps. One time he critted on my Cloak for 1.4 million damage, which is just insane. This is difficulty 2. It's not even maximum difficulty. So that's the thing. we have to use a Spider Weaver here just to make sure that we stay alive. We need to have at least one charge early on in the match in order for Kang to miss his special. Otherwise, like, we have no chance of beating this. So keep this in mind. Okay, so with this information, we can already design which team we are going to use, right? So taking a look at the characters we have available, and based on the problems we have, this is the type of team that we are going to use. So here it is right now, the full team. Look at these 1.5 million teams for raids. Okay, so we need Morgan Le Fay because of the extra health that she has, and also the special. The special is actually very convenient because as soon as you apply slow to the enemies, you can juggle them around with that slow and with their special. The special is going to be additional turning wind that you do to the enemies, but one thing that you cannot do, taking a look now at the video, one thing that you cannot do for sure, let me see if we are, no, okay, so we are still not going to use Morgan Le Fay. So what you don't want to do with Morgan Le Fay is to use her special turn 1. You only want to use the special after all the characters have slow, after all the characters have a bunch of negative effects. Otherwise, you're going to make a big problem to yourself. So you want to always use Morgan Le Fay ultimate first or the basic. If you don't have the cooldown on the ultimate, you want to do the basic. If you do the special, the Kang will go super fast and he's going to slap you with his ultimate. So this is extremely dangerous. This is extremely dangerous. Take a look at this. So taking a look at this, look at that. Even Dagger got one-shotted by the boss. Even Dagger got one-shotted by the boss. So this is extremely luck-based with that Kang. And the charges of Spider Weaver, you have to, the charges on Deadpool, you have to make sure that they are ready to go, because you need to use those charges, the big ultimate on Kang. If you let that Kang to sit around for too long, you literally have no chance. Okay, so we are doing fine here. Cloak has a little bit more value than Dagger. Of course, you want to have both of them together at the same time. But yeah, this is way too much RNG based, and as you guys know, I don't like RNG. I like consistent strategies, and this ain't it, Chief. This ain't it, Chief. This is way too tough. Okay, so on top of that, we also have Cersei and Incursion on this node. And look at that, my Deadpool just got deleted. I don't even know what happened. She just got deleted. And this is why we need Morgan Le Fay. Once again, we need to juggle the enemies with the turning winds from the Eternals, and then with the special of Morgan Le Fay. Because, yeah, she's going to reduce the speed bar for everyone. So you want to make sure that the enemies have the slow. So you have the highest advantage in terms of the turn meter. Okay, so going back to the characters. In terms of ISO 8, I still believe that Deadpool is better as a skirmisher, because you really need to spread those negative effects, bro. Ultimate of Morgan Le Fay, flipping positive effects, applying the slow, applying the turning winds, and so on. And then with Deadpool, as soon as you can, you want to spread those slows to everyone else. Eternals, flipping those positive effects to negative effects on the enemies. And only after when the enemies have no positive effects, only after you do the special of Morgan Le Fay. And keep in mind that whenever you see a Kang, whenever you see a Gambit, you have to make sure that you have a few charges. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. This is I think this is the last attempt on the boss node. So let me put it from the start. Okay, so here we are. Now we're going to use Morgan Le Fay. We're going to use Spider Weaver. And even my Spider Weaver, I got unlucky. She got 3 attacks in the face, and this was because she had no charges. So once again, those charges are must have. Okay, so we deleted the Kang. All the enemies have the slow. And what I'm saying about juggling the enemies is doing like this. It's just pushing their speed bar forward and backwards with Morgan Le Fay and with the Eternals, because otherwise, like, you have no chance. As soon as you get to the higher difficulties of these incursion raids, this gets a lot more tougher. It's like unbelievable. Okay, so Morgan Le Fay, she also does turning wind if you cannot apply negative effects to the enemies. And here we have, once again, spreading that slow with Morgan Le Fay. Now I'm going to the other target, spreading more bleeds, more defense styles, more slows to the enemies, because like other way, you have no chance. Okay, so other reason why Spider Weaver is good here, it's once again because of Cersei and Incursion. if you have charges on Spider Weaver, Icarus cannot do his ultimate to you. So this is a great way of protecting yourself from these big Icarus. Here we are doing fine because this is only difficulty 2. But as soon as you go to difficulty 6, the story is going to be completely different. And yeah, this is why we need all these safeguards and situations in order for you to be successful on these mystic nodes. Okay, so that's it for this video. Wow, guys, like big yikes. Difficulty 2, it's already pretty tough. So in my opinion, this is going to be the final team, but you have to get some practice on how to play with this team. You really want to spread negative effects with Morgan Le Fay, and then spread the negative effects from Morgan Le Fay with Deadpool. You also want to make sure that your Spider Weaver has at least one charge, so you can stop the Gambits, so you can stop the Kangs, and so you can stop the Icarus of the world. And like, just take these characters to the moon. Just take these characters to the moon. Even that Icarus and Cersei, they are a little bit outdated. The good thing about Spider Weaver is that her special gives offense up to Icarus, so that increases Icarus a little bit more value after the first few turns, because on spawn he has offense up, but after he cannot get offense up, and you have to rely a little bit on RNG. But from all the options we have available, New Warriors, Cloak and Dagger, Deadpool, between Quicksilver and so on, all the other mystic characters that we have available, Agatha Harkness, Strange Supreme and so on, the best option is definitely going to be this one. So the two Eternals, Morgan Le Fay in the middle because she has like that massive health and so on. Spider Weaver somewhat in the middle as well, so you can charge up her energy a little bit faster. And then Deadpool in the corner. And guys, like, just get your Deadpool to 700 stars because otherwise she's gonna get destroyed. And thankfully we got those additional gold promos, otherwise like no chance. Like like it was so tough. I spent so many power cores trying to figure out what was going to be the best team. And this is it. So once again, you need a Spider Weaver to protect you with the charges. You need Icarus and Cersei for the massive turning wind. You need Morgan Le Fay and Deadpool to remove taunts from characters and to spread slows around, disrupts around, and so on. And I think Deadpool, she can also spread ability block. So in case you have the opportunity of spreading ability block to like Squirrel Girl or anything like that, that would be a good way to deal with that situation. Otherwise, you can stun the Squirrel Girls with the Spider Weaver as well. So be very careful with when you use your stun, because once again, you need those charges to go from one node to the next one. And yes, it works. It actually works. Okay, guys, so that's going to be the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. These incursion raids, they are quite fun. But these first weeks is going to be tough to figure out which is going to be the best teams and so on, as we have a few options available, but at the same time we don't want to waste gear that we need for Dark Dimension 6, right? And at the same time we also have to gear up for Apocalypse. So keep all of these in mind. And once again, I think in my opinion this is the best team, but you guys let me know in the comments below if you have some other experiences with maybe Dormammu or maybe with Agatha or Quicksilver maybe even. But remember, tell me things about the difficulty 1 or 2 or 3 or above that, because on the base difficulty it's a completely different story. And yeah, so that's going to be all for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button, and if you found the video helpful, make sure to share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Mouse Force content, and I'll catch you guys later.